Hi there, this is Ken from Tuning Fork Music, and with another edition of ABRSM Theory Works run through. Today we're going to be doing Grade 1, Level 3. So let's go ahead and start. Okay, so just going down here to Level 3. Okay, so let's take a look at what the basics that they're trying to look at here. So we have a minimum rest. We have semi-brief rest, and rest that could also mean just the whole bar here. They make a general explanation of it, but basically I like to tell my kids that if you think about a skinny cat versus a fat cat, you'll have a better idea of which one is the one worth 4 beats and which one is worth 2 beats. So the minimum rest is like a very fit upright cat that's standing up on the 3rd line. Okay, and that's worth 2 beats. 4 beats is when the cat is very fat, we had like a large meal, and it's just lazy and just going to stay there for 4 whole beats right there. Okay, and again, that same semi-brief rest can also just mean blanking out the whole measure. So one has to be wary. Then they talk about ascending and descending scales. Okay. Let me move myself over here. And yeah, there we go. Okay, and so the scales that you need to know are C major, G major, D major, and F major. We talked briefly about all the flats and sharps and how to tell the difference between the keys and how to calculate the keys just based on, for sharps, the last sharp, half step up, and for flats, the last flat. The next to last flat, and then if you only have one flat, you memorize it as being F major. Okay, so keeping going on, let's see. Okay, so talking about the dot after a note, that's a very critical thing to teach at the very early outset. Many students, their first encounter with the dot leads them to go from a dotted half note or dotted minim to make it seem like that dot just simply adds 1. And it's very important to know that, as it clearly states here in the first bullet point, that the dot after a note makes the note longer by a full half of its value. Okay, so it's important to get the concept of division and whatnot. So you see here, the half note plus 1, half of 2 is 1, 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay, and then you have dotted crotchet, which a lot of beginners have a little bit of a problem with. So you have to understand, well, what is half of a crotchet, or what's half of a quarter? It's that dot. It's the quaver. Okay, so you're just simply adding the value of 1 quaver, and likewise, when you do it to the dotted quaver, you're going to have adding a semi-quaver. Okay, so I like to teach people this just using the concept of money. So the local currency here is Malaysian ringgit, 1 Malaysian ringgit, and then half of a Malaysian ringgit is 50 cents. So you just say, hey, I have 1 ringgit. If I add the dot next to it, what do I do? What's half of this ringgit? It's 50 cents. So then it's 1 ringgit plus 50 cents. Anyway, let's move on, and let's get started. I'm going to move myself back here, I think the bottom right hand corner is nice. There we go. Alright, so we've already gone over the basics of learning. Let's start with the scales. Okay, so when you're faced with this sort of question, you have to make sure, looking at, is this the right key, and also is it ascending or descending, going up or going down? So we see that it's going down. Alright, it's not F major because there's no B flat in there. This is actually a C major scale. So then we have to think true or false. And in this case, we're going to say false. Okay, so now it's saying this is a scale of D major ascending. Well, it is ascending, but there's 1 flat in there, so that actually is an F major scale. So again, we say false. Now, this is always pushed as a statement. And sometimes I think it's better to look at it as a pure question, because it gets you in the right mindset. So instead of going, this is a scale, this, true or false, you can say, Well, is this a scale of C major ascending? Is it? Okay, well, it starts from G to G. Well, that's already not it. All right, and there's already one sharp. So this is actually a G major scale ascending. So we're going to say false. Or maybe you might just say answer the question, yes or no. Okay, this is a scale of F major descending. Nope, D to D, two sharps. We're going to run through this quite quickly now. Okay, now this is a scale of blah blah blah. Okay, so this is an F major descending scale. And then just simply drag it to where you need to. Okay, scale of G major ascending, true or false? Well, it goes from G to G. It has one sharp, so it's true. Okay. All right, so it's a little hard to read here because I'm getting older and I'm on a very small screen. Sometimes these sort of apps work better on an iPad or Android tablet. So if you're a little hard of seeing, you might want to choose that. But anyway, if I squint hard enough, I can find that the D major ascending scale is this one on the bottom right. Two sharps and going from D to D. Alright, going from D to D, going down two sharps. Yes, it is a scale of D major descending. Okay, and then from C to C, no flats, no sharps ascending. It is true. Okay. So if you're wondering how long you're going, just take a look at that little progress bar that you have at the top. So that kind of gives you a little bit of encouragement to keep going. All right, let's go through this quite quickly now. G major scale, ascending. Okay, from G to G, one sharp, top left. All right, C to C going down. Yes, indeed. All right, scale of D to D going up with two sharps. It is a D major ascending scale. All right, from C to C going up, it is a C major ascending scale. Okay, true, this is a D major scale. All right, this is an F major ascending scale. All right, G major descending, G to G going down, one sharp, bottom left. All right, F major going up. All right, and going from C to C down. So let's see, C major descending. Drag and drop. All right, so that's the first round, level 1 right there. Okay, so now we're going to choose the next topic. Let's go down the left column here. Now we're going to go to clefs. Now, so far, we just have to deal with treble clef and bass clef. So it kind of makes it easier to see that just two blank spaces that can't possibly be. All right, so now we have to put clef placement. Which is the clef that's going to make that note a D? Is it this one? No, because this is a bass clef. Right? Putting that there is actually going to make it a low F. So instead, we want this one, the treble clef. And the nice thing about this app is that you can experiment back and forth with the options, see what you think visually will fit the correct answer, and nothing gets committed until you actually hit the check button. Okay, make this the correct clef to make the note B. That would be the bass clef. Right, so this is just basic note reading, as may be the case. Okay, let's add the correct clef to make the note F. Okay, so that would be the treble clef. All right, A, we're going to make, whoops, we're going to make that the bass clef. All right, and that is going to be also bass clef, because if we put a treble clef, it would be a G. All right, treble clef makes it a B, bass clef would have made it a D, so we want treble clef. All right, and bass clef again. Okay, and then we're going to make that a D by putting a treble clef. Okay, make that an F by putting a. Now, something to note that the bass clef is actually sometimes called the F clef. And there's a reason why. You see that little dot on the left? Not the two dots on the right side of the clef, but the one that's at the end of the swirl. that actually denotes the note F. Right? So if you've got a note that's sitting on that line, that's on the same line as that dotted part of the swirl, that's your F right there. Okay. Okay, treble clef. Now, something to also note is that the treble clef also could sometimes look at G clef, because at the end of the swirl, where that swirl is, traditionally you would try to put on a G. Now, that doesn't always happen, but that's okay. All right, so now let's keep going quickly. We've got 2 more to do on this session. So this is just simply about knowing your rests, semi-brief rests. All right, it's the fat cat pointing down, just like I spoke about earlier. So put it on the left there. Okay, minims or half notes if you're thinking in American terms. Right, a little bit lighter, and it is like a cat just standing up. Okay, put that there. Semiquavers. Okay, semiquavers have 2 flags, whether they're notes or rests. So we can easily pick this second one here. Right, crotchet rest is the one that looks like kind of like a very fancy Z. I always like to think of it. Okay, okay, and well, it's a duplicate question. Remember, every time that you go through this app with the levels, you're going to draw from the different questions of the question bank. So it's good to sometimes do multiple levels over and over just to get the whole picture of everything. All right, now the whole bar rest, well, this is kind of easy because that one just shows the whole bar. But we also remember that the whole bar rest is traditionally also thought of sometimes as a semi-brief rest. Okay. Doesn't even matter the time signature. Semiquaver rest. Well, is it? Well, how many flags do we have? Just 1. All right, so we can say this is false because it's actually a quaver rest. All right, this is a quaver rest. No, it's not. No flags. It even shows the whole bar. We're going to say false. Okay, crotchet rest. Doesn't look like that fancy Z. Let's go and say it's false. That was a semiquaver rest, actually. This is a minim rest. Okay, now this is where it gets a little dangerous, right? It's again top flat, hanging down or put up here, right? But we see it's hanging down. That's actually a semi-brief rest, so we can say it is false. Okay. All right, so far so good. All right, this is a whole bar rest. Nope. It's gotta look like semi-brief. Okay, now we just have the identifications. Just go ahead and drag. So, semi-quaver rest. There we go. All right, that's a quaver rest. 1 flag. Oops, there we go. All right, crotchet rest. Okay, and all right, minim rest. It's like a cat that's popping up. Okay. Fat cat hanging down, that will make it a semi-brief rest. All right, we're almost done. We just have 1 more topic to go through. Time values. Right? Now, when you look at these sort of questions, again, make sure you understand where it's going shortest to longest. You will notice that it's kind of showing on in the grayed out area, on the top left and the top right. So that also kind of puts you as a reminder. Right? So make sure that you're looking at it which direction. And then you just simply have to know your values. All right? We do it in American terms, that's a quarter. It's a dotted quarter, which that's 1.5. Dotted half, that makes it worth 3 beats, and 4 beats for whole note. All right. Which of these is a dotted crotchet? That obviously would be the second one. Okay. So it's just about quickly identifying. And let's see, place the notes on order. Okay, so now we have to make sure we're going from shortest to longest. Right? If we use the British terms, that's 1.5 for the dotted crotchet. That's 2 beats within the minim. Dotted minim gets you 3 beats, and then 4 beats for the whole semi-brief. All right, longest to shortest. See, they'll do a reversal, so you have to be careful not to go too quickly. All right. 3 beats versus 2 beats, which is 1.5 and 1/16, as we say. And it can fit 16 of those in a full 4/4 bar. That's where it came from in the American terms. Okay, longest to shortest. 3 beats, 1/2, half a beat, 1/4 of a beat. Okay, 16 notes, semiquavers. Okay, then mix and match. However you want to do it. I usually like to go down to left and just identify. Okay, top left, that one would be a crotchet, then mixed dotted minim, then a semiquaver, then a dotted crotchet. Okay. All right, so first thing you look at the question. They're asking generally for longest or shortest. Right? And it's just about identifying the extremes here. Okay, so which one is the longest one? Obviously, that would be the one on the top right. That's worth 4 beats. All right, top left is 1, bottom left is just 1/16, and the other one's just worth 3 beats. So, I'm gonna check. Whoops, I'm gonna check myself there. All right, which one of these has the longest duration? Well, we're going to want the longest duration to be that one. That's 3 beats, bottom right. Okay, longest duration, half a beat. Sorry, a half note. Okay, once again, shortest to longest. So they go back and forth between question types. So just to keep everybody on their toes. 16th, 8th, quarter, half. All right, shortest duration, that semiquaver on the bottom right. Shortest duration here, okay, would be the quaver, or 8th note. All right, we're going from shortest to longest. So it's a short quaver, a crotchet, dotted crotchet, and maxed out at a semi-breathed. Yeah, we're almost done. Okay, shortest duration, dotted crotchet. All right. And finally, longest to shortest. 4 beats for the semi-breathe or whole note. 3 beats for the dotted minim or dotted half note. 2 beats for the half note or minim, and a single crotchet or quarter note. And we're done. All right. Well, once again, this has been a run-through of ABRSM Theory Works App. And well, stay tuned for the next one as it comes along. So if you have any questions or just want to know more about tuning fork music, do feel free to contact me, either on the Facebook page, or website, or WhatsApp. Do take care.